Hello my friends, today I am reviewing the Ohuhu Honolulu series set of 320 alcohol markers as well as fine liners, gel pens, and paper. To begin with, I want to say that these art supplies were sent by Ohuhu, but this is my honest review. I'm not being paid to say anything good or bad about the markers and the supplies that I received. These are just my honest thoughts as an artist. When Ohuhu rose to popularity with their alcohol markers, a lot of their sets were just bullet nib and random color assortments. So you could order a set of, let's say 48 markers on Amazon, and you could receive duplicates, or you just wouldn't know which markers you'd receive in a set. And so I saw a lot of people reviewing the sets, and they were saying like, oh, these are inexpensive, but not very reliable or consistent. So for the past couple of years, I've not been interested in trying Ohuhu markers because I'm not interested in reviewing or even recommending something to you that I don't believe is consistent or good value for what you're paying, etc. That being said, Ohuhu has really stepped up their game in the products that they create and now are creating some really amazing marker sets that have brush tips as well as chisel and bullet nibs. I was very excited to receive the Honolulu brush tip markers with 320 colors. Ohuhu sent over one of these bamboo marker holders for me, and I bought the other two myself because I wanted to display all of the markers and pens that I received. And if I have one 10 out of 10 recommendation for you, it is these marker holders. I mean, you can definitely put anything in them, pens, pencils, other markers, whatever you want to. I think they're really nicely made and also a very good price for their quality. If you see anything in this video that you're interested in picking up, I 100% recommend these marker holders. I think they're fabulous. They also look super aesthetic. I mean, Zach and some of our friends have seen the markers on display and think it's absolutely amazing because they're color coordinated. It's a very appealing way to display your art supplies. These markers come with 4 swatch cards, so you can swatch all the markers and organize them according to their labeling or their codes. And one thing that I appreciate about the set is that the markers that you receive obviously are consistent and a nice wide range of colors to suit basically every need. This is an amazing set to own, and I'm excited to have it for a fraction of their competitors' pricing, like Copic or Prismacolor. I'm sure there's other well-known marker brands, but I personally think that this is a great deal for what you are receiving. There are a couple of cons though with this set that I do want to talk about. First off, the caps labeling system is visually inconsistent. There's different fonts and sizes for the marker caps, which can be kind of annoying to look at if you have OCD or if you want everything to be matching and to look similar. Even now I'm looking at 2 markers, E434 and E440 on my desk, and they have different sizes and fonts of labeling, which is unpleasing to my eyes. It's not that big of a deal, but I thought I should mention it because when you are paying a lot of money for a set like this, you definitely want there to be consistency and quality. I have not even mentioned the price of this set. For 320 markers, the set is $244.99, so $245. Right now, if you go to their website, they have a sale, so you can get the set for $208, which I say is a great deal. It's fantastic price for what you are receiving. But that being said, you're still spending either $200 or $250 on this set, so I want to be 100% honest about all of my thoughts about these markers. The second inconsistency with this set that is probably a lot more bothersome than even the cap labeling system is the color names do not match the colors themselves. It's great to have the swatch card filled out and handy so that you can pick out the exact colors that you're looking for instead of relying on the cap colors or color names to indicate the actual color. The most jarring color name for me is the BR208. It's called Black Brown. It's a bright peachy pink. I have no idea why they called it Black Brown, but there's other weird names. I submitted these all to Ohuhu. If you see any of my suggested names on new markers, give me a cut. I need 5%. No, I'm kidding. It feels as if somebody foreign created some of these names. Like there's Shallow Orange Cafe, Y180. It doesn't really make any sense. It's a caramel color. Another one that was so weird is E434 Dragon Well Tea. There's other colors that just the name of the color does not match the color swatch. So for example, YR220 is called Yellowish Shade and it is a muted pink. YR240 is called Cream. The color is a peachy yellow. RV070 is called Sakura Pink. It's a neon bright pink. I think that the naming convention could be greatly improved. The markers that I called out on my Ohuhu survey are not even all the markers that I might change. It's just the most glaringly, obviously inconsistent, incorrect naming for the markers based on their swatches. This kind of stuff doesn't bother you if you're okay to look at the swatch card and pick out the marker that you want, or you don't care that the names are written in different fonts and sizes. None of this is really necessarily important to the way that the markers perform. The third inconsistency that I have found with these markers is something that I have not personally experienced with Copics or Prismacolor markers. Essentially, some of the tips are more flexible than others, which is a little bit odd. Some of the tips are extremely soft, so with minimal pressure, you can push down really easily on them, and with some other ones, heavier pressure, they're still a lot stiffer. They don't really bend quite so much. Don't understand how there could be such inconsistency in the brush nibs. You can buy refills of these nibs on the Ohuhu website, which is really nice, but I wonder, those nibs, will they also be of different flexibilities? Question mark. This is something that might affect your workflow and something definitely to point out, but for me personally, it doesn't really bother me. I do want to say that overall I enjoy this set, and having used it, I do really enjoy it. If I hadn't received it for free, I honestly would purchase these myself because of the value to the amount of colors that you receive and the overall quality of these markers. At the end of the day, the kind of sad reality of the situation is that alcohol markers are not light fast, so that is not something to consider in the quality of a cheaper marker like an Ohuhu marker versus a Copic marker. What if I'm so wrong right now and some sort of technology changed in the near past that I am missing? But to my understanding, all alcohol markers are not light fast. This is a place where I think you can really save a buck if you care to purchase alcohol markers. When it comes to any other colored medium, I really recommend checking the light fast level because you don't want your work deteriorating over time. When this is not an option to choose in markers, I say go for the cheaper ones 100%. Just like Copic markers, Ohuhu has refills for the individual colors, which I think is so good, especially for a really inexpensive set like this one. To be able to purchase a refill for the exact color that you want is amazing, especially if you use a specific color often or like an accent in your work. That to me is thoughtful and a lot more high-end than the pricing of this product. Used to love drawing with alcohol markers, and the reason I sort of stopped was because they're so expensive if you want to get more colors. The amount that I enjoyed using markers to the price of them, I didn't really want to continue purchasing more and more markers, so I stopped for a second. If this is something that kind of holds you back, you would like to try alcohol markers, but the price is holding you back, I think this set is a really good deal. They also have much smaller sets, of course, and pastel sets. If you don't want to buy all 320 markers, you can buy a smaller set. Ohuhu sent me a couple other things to try out that they sell. One is their fine liners. I selected the set with 7 black liners and then 10 colored liners. While they feel cheap in your hand, they're nothing special. They work very, very well, and they're not expensive. So for the price of them and the quality of the actual ink that comes out, I recommend them. I think something that I was confused by when I was using these in conjunction with the alcohol markers is maybe I wasn't allowing them enough time to dry, but let's say I used one of the fine liners and then 10 minutes later laid down the marker on top, the lines that I put down would bleed a little bit. Maybe this is user error on my part. My assumption would be that these fine liners would not bleed because they are paired with alcohol, based markers. Let me know if you have experienced the same thing or not. In my experience using these fine liners, I would just use them after you have finished laying down all of your colors with the markers themselves. I also received their gel pen set with gold, silver, and white. I'm realizing this moment that I haven't even tried the gold and silver gel pens. 1 second. Okay. Even holding these are so cheap in my hands. While I think the alcohol markers feel very nice in your hand, the shape of them ergonomically and also just in general, the quality of the plastic is there. The fine liners and gel pens, the quality is really lacking in those, but that's okay because all I care about is the product that comes out of them. All of these gel pens are absolutely fire. You get 6 white gel pens, 3 silver, and 3 gold. My Jelly Roll pen is like, what, $2 or a little bit more than that? I mean, holding it right now in my hand feels a lot nicer in quality, but at the end of the day, if the gel ink inside of the pen is opaque and works well, it doesn't really matter what casing it comes in, right? Lastly, and this is something that I'm very picky about, Ohuhu sent me 2 of their sketchbooks. They sent me their bleed-proof double-sided marker paper, as well as their Ohuhu marker pads art sketchbooks for markers. These names, dude. I'm just gonna say the little black book is, I like it more than the bleed-proof paper. However, it is not bleed-proof, and I wouldn't say this quality is anything insanely special, especially for the price. I don't have anything special to say about it one way or another. It's not my preferred. I'm probably going to use it because I own it, but otherwise I would not purchase it myself. The second sketchbook that they sent me, the marker pad, the Ohuhu bleed-proof double-sided marker pad, spiral bound, I was not as big of a fan of. They have a glue bound as well, which is probably much better for drawing. And I don't think this is any of Ohuhu's fault. It's just my personal preference. I don't like the paper. I think that bleed-proof papers like this one, or even the Render Sketchbook, which is so much more expensive, they have this almost grayish blue quality to them, which is so not warm, obviously. It completely goes against my art style because I love really warm and magical fairy colors, fairy tale things. And so this blue-green paper really clashes with my artwork. With this Ohuhu bleed-proof paper and also the Render Sketchbook, again, the expensive one, I don't like how the marker sits on top of the paper. It looks splotchy to me. There's not a consistent wash of the color, and it almost feels like, what's the point of using alcohol markers if it's going to be so splotchy? This is something that you might not relate to at all, or you might love this type of paper, so take it with a grain of salt. But if you like my specific style and you like the papers that I like, I would not recommend this bleed-proof marker pad. For all of my drawings with these markers, I ended up using the Nina cardstock, which one of you really kindly recommended to me in my comments, and I have been loving it. It's just a cardstock, like the way you would buy printer paper, but it is really nice. It's very comparable to my Strathmore 400 series marker paper that I absolutely love. So I just used it for all of the drawings I created. Even though it's not bleed proof, I personally don't have a tendency to draw on both sides of the paper. I have like graphite PTSD if you draw on the other side of a graphite drawing. If it hasn't been fixed 100%, you'll have so much graphite transfer which will smudge your paper. So in general, I just keep away from drawing on the other side of my paper. So this is something that is just not catered towards me, and it's something that I personally don't enjoy, but it doesn't mean it's a bad quality product. I am yapping. At the end of the day, I recommend this marker set with its flawed qualities. I will take these imperfections for the value and cost of these sets and what they offer me in terms of creativity. The way that these markers are easily accessible and mess-free has been encouraging me to draw a lot with them, especially since they're on my desk. It's just tempting to look at them and to pull them out and use them. So if you would like to consider you want to draw more and you want an incentive, these for me were a very good one. Let me know if you've tried Ohuhu before, if you tried them back in the day when they were hit or miss. If you are interested in this set, I will have links to everything down in the description. I love how all of these drawings came out, and I'm excited to film more videos with these markers. They're seeming to have a permanent place on my desk unless I can find a place for them. So I probably will be using them a lot more in the near future. Thank you so much for watching this video. I post Tuesdays and Thursdays on this channel, so if you are interested in watching more videos, subscribe to keep up to date with me, and like and comment to support me and give my videos a little bit of a boost on the algorithm. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye. you.